Hello there, this is Rapture, and welcome to the first episode of the renewed series. Today, we will be talking about a very important subject: what will people say, with practical reasons why you feel validated by other people's opinions, and also how to stop this self sabotage. It is natural for human beings to want to feel the sense of belonging, a sense that they are part of a unit. That's why we create organizations like unions, clubs, to foster unity and a sense of belonging. Sometimes we lose ourselves in the bid of trying to be accepted and feel like someone really cares about us. Before we do something, we ask ourselves this popular question: what will people say? We feel threatened that certain decisions and actions we want to take may be opposed to that of the popular opinion, to that of other people. In Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it is also recognized that man wants to feel a sense of belonging, a sense of acceptance in the society. And so it is not unnatural to want to feel like a part of something. But then I want you to feel that way in your true essence without losing yourself, without losing who you are. And then if whoever you want to please or wherever you want to feel a sense of belonging would have to be based on their own opinions of you, then that might not be the right circle for you. If you're not careful, you would not be living your own life. You would be living the life that other people are stating for you. Sometimes we lose ourselves trying to be other people's kind of perfect persons, favorite persons, and we are not our own person. Maybe because of what you've heard about you or what people have told you, and then before you want to make that decision, you ask yourself, what will people say? Have you encountered a situation where you were in a classroom with so many people or somewhere in a meeting and the teacher or the facilitator asks a question, but no one in the call knew the answer or in the classroom had a clue to the answer, and you know it? Maybe you heard it somewhere, or something inside of you is telling you to say something, but you're not sure of that. And then you look at the brightest students in class, they don't know it. And you ask yourself, who am I to know this? Who am I to answer this? If Tony doesn't know it right, how would I not know it? Then you kill your self-worth, you kill your confidence. Because if the so-called brightest student in class doesn't know it, then you most likely don't know it. And then no one answers it, the teacher says the answer. It's exactly what's in your mind. It's exactly what your instinct told you. In fact, maybe you've known the answer before, but you just couldn't say it. You missed the accolades. How did you feel when you could have said it? Maybe you could have been appreciated for the first time in class. You didn't say it. You felt bad, right? That is how that feels. When you don't live in your genuineness, when you live based on what other people are saying about you. Practical reasons why this might be so is firstly because while growing up, you didn't feel loved, you didn't feel appreciated, no one said it to you, you didn't hear it from your parents or your caregivers, and even what you heard growing up was that you are not bright, olodo, itiboribo. They called you all those names. Then it filled your mind. I'm not beautiful. I'm not loved. They won't like me. Can't even find the right person. I'm too fat. No one will want to marry me. I'll be old and ugly. And on it goes. You're so afraid. And you live your life based on what some person say about you. When I was in primary school, I wasn't the brightest student in class, but I knew back then. No one knew or learned languages the way I did in school. All the three languages we were taught, I could easily grasp them, at least for my level. But because I was not the best in mathematics and sciences and other subjects, no one really regarded that she she was the best French student, or in her native Igbo language. Even in English, no one really took note of that because I didn't come first position. I'm sure I never made it to the first five at all in primary school. And throughout that period, I felt I was not enough. I felt whatever people said I was, that's who I was. But even when I knew the answers to some questions, I couldn't even answer them in class because they would mock me, they were laughing at me. They already said that I'm this and that, and I believed it. I noticed over time I was the only one who grasped this. Over time, before Monsieur Kofi would start the class with us, he'd always say a certain French greeting, not the regular bonjour and all that, a certain thing, and it had a response. Each classes that we had with him would start it with that, and of course, no one remembered. But because I grasped this language faster than others, he would always give us the answer because we would not get it. So the next time, we would hope that we get it again. We would feel it. So what I did is I wrote down the answer at the back of my book. Because I wasn't too fluent in French, I wrote the answer in French and I wrote the pronunciation in English, such that whoever that could read it in English, it could sound like French. And that's what I did. But the teacher would come to the class and say this thing. I knew the answer, couldn't say. My classmates would laugh at me. They say I'm not fine. So what would they say if I even this human being trying to make attempt in class? And so close to me was a guy, Kingsley. He used to be the person who took third position every term. And so first three, yeah, so he's a bright boy, isn't he? I remember this day I tapped Kingsley and said, Kingsley, can you please say this is the answer? He looked at me like, how sure are you? He wasn't sure of my answer, but he didn't know it either. So he gave it a try anyway. So he memorized the wordings based on the way I wrote it in English, but it sounded like French. And so he raised his hand up and said it in English, sounding like French. And the teacher was so amazed. The teacher said, say it again. And the guy answered, and they said, give him a round of applause. I took clap for Kingsley. But this could have been me. This could have been the first time in my whole primary school that I was going to have a round of applause. I'm going to be celebrated in class, called out. But it never happened because of what people say. And that thought filled my mind. Some of the reasons that you might be thinking, what will people say? Because of what you've heard several times from them. They say that you are ugly. They say that you are fat. They say that you are not beautiful. They say that you can never make it. They say that you are not intelligent. They say that you are too short. They say that you are too tall. They say that your type can do modeling. They say your type this one. Your hair is not that one. That one, your nose is not straight enough. Da. And then you look at yourself. Okay, so I'm not what they said. And I'm not this way. But have you wondered, those people saying these things, you know that sometimes they are going through the same thing of rejection, of inferiority complex, and they're looking for where to throw in this garbage. And they're thinking of throwing it on you because your lid is not on. The container is open, so they're just pouring it in. When you keep your lid on, you cover the container, you can't pour in trash. They are going through those feelings of inadequacy, rejection. They don't feel belong to somewhere. Sometimes people have breakups with their loved ones and they're looking for who to vent on, and they're venting it on you. So if you look at such kind of person at that state talking, and whatever they say, you don't validate it as who you are. Oh really? But some other people, they don't just have anything to say. That is why they're saying all they're saying. And because of what they've been saying, you now make it as this is who you are. Do you know that some people just want to talk? Like this literally see you, the first thing they say is, you don't fat too. See, you don't lose weight. You don't want. You don't that cool. Sort of long time no see. How are you doing? it then becomes, you have forgotten me, oh. you know, and then you start feeling bad for unknown reason, for looking good, for being in good health. So is that your fault? You just don't have anything to say. Some people are sadists. Sadists. They just want to they want to spread sadness. As long as you keep listening to them, you will never be fine. You will never be. For example, some people would mock you for not being fashionable enough. And then you make an attempt to be fashionable, you're faking it. You are not making an attempt, you don't know how to dress. What should you do? Like what? What do you want to do? Okay, you don't know how to do this. You start learning, you're faking it. You're not being real. And you're listening to such people. You will never be fine. To put this thing I'm saying together, when I was younger, people made me, especially from teenage age, people made me feel like I was overweight, I was fat. Maybe because I was not skinny enough for a teenager, but I wasn't fat. I wasn't chubby either, but then I was not skinny, you know. So because I was not skinny like a regular boarding student should be, so everyone else thinks, oh, Rapture is fat, and all that. And then I wore it on my mind. I was so insecure to the extent that I didn't like checking my weight where people were. Like, I would literally let everybody go before I check my weight. And then I had to buy my own weighing scale so that I can check it in my privacy. I was that insecure. When I got into the university, my roommate in one of the rooms started saying the same thing. I didn't feel that way because school was stressing a lot out of me. It was burning the calories. How was I really gaining weight? But I couldn't see. I saw myself, but I was seeing myself through what those other people said I was. And then I remember one day, one lady who helped us, stay in check in weight, who does a weight management service, like you're checking your weight, your height, and all that. She came around and I was like, I want to check my weight because it's been a while. And then I checked my weight. I was 56 kg. I couldn't believe it. I said, excuse me, I hopped on, I hopped off, and on. I was like, maybe there's a problem with the scale. And then it was just giving me the same thing. And I was like, how can somebody who's 5'7" tall and weighing 56 kg be overweight? And with my BMI, it was like 3 kg more for me to be underweight. If I lose more weight, like 3 to 5 kg, I'll be underweight. So I was almost going to be underweight. And look at some people telling me that I was overweight, and I believed this thing. So they too checked their own weight. And in that room, I was the tallest. I was second to the tallest. But those people who told me those things, I was taller than them. But they weigh more than I weighed. I remember one, she weighed 58 kg. But I was taller than her. So you were shorter than me. You weigh more than I do. And I'm taller than you, and I weigh lesser than you do. But because I store more fat on my thighs, and so it looks like I'm more curvy there. And then you're looking at just my legs and my thighs and to say, oh, this guy is fat. That was just the only thing you could say. At a point, I used to be insecure of trying to, wear clothes and just be nice. Like, I'm not intentionally trying to put my body out there, but like, dress good, look fine. And it looked like you having hips was a problem. Like, it was a disadvantage because people said I was fat. So I was trying to be careful and all that. And after that day, I said to myself, it's a lie. So those girls didn't even believe it, that I weighed lesser than they did. And that since that day, whatever any human being saying, especially about my weight, I am very conscious and self-aware that I'm healthy and I'm living the best of my life. Yes. In fact, I'm in the best shape. So one day, not quite long, like in this year, not more than a month ago, I saw an older lady that is like a family friend, like my mom's friend. And then I was strolling home and she saw me and she said, what to say, like, Rapture, it's been a long time. I saw you, long time no see. And the first thing is, you're fat though. You're not getting weight. Take it easy. I already knew myself, like I am enough. And so when she said that, because she was an elderly person as well, I didn't want to put her down because she tried to put me down. I cannot be that mad at all. So I said to her in a very calm, respectful Nigerian way, mommy, if I lose more weight than this, you will buy me pinafore. And she smiled. I said yes, because I'll start looking like just 2 gay. And if I look like just 2 gay, they don't want to marry me because they'll think it's underage marriage. She laughed. I don't want them to come my boyfriend. Don't leave me like this. He said, Abby, I want to dance. And she said, and that was it. But I learned. She didn't have anything to say about my weight. She just said it was a spontaneous thing. And sometimes spontaneous statements like that don't just stay for the moment in our minds. You've said it out, but to the person you're talking to, it lasts longer than that time. It lasts for months, for years, even a lifetime. So you have to be careful what you say in outbursts out of anger and out of excitement and all that. So she said those words to me, and I went home. It didn't touch me. My younger self or older me would be like, you said I'm fat again. Or I said, I'll be so on my toes. But I already know myself. I didn't need anybody's opinion of my weight anymore. So you see, she didn't really have anything to say, and imagine if I took her word for it. The reason why you are validating what the people say is because you have fear of uncertainty. Maybe you're trying to make a business venture, you're trying to start something, and you're not sure how it's going to turn out. And you're not sure if, for example, business, if you're venturing into business, is a risky thing because there's no certainty in it, no matter how sure you've made your calculations. As an entrepreneur, you're called a risk taker. And so imagine trying to venture into something your loved ones are not supportive of. You imagine 1 month into the business, 2-3 months into it, no profit, 6 months, no profit, 1 year, no profit, a year and a half, no profit, 2 years. You think, when you imagine in that kind of situation, you wonder, this is taking time to make sense. And it is harder. And it would be more real what will people say when it's only something God has told you. Only you and God know about this one. God didn't share it to them in their dreams. It was your own dream or vision or wherever God told you that you were sure it was the word of God for you. And because they didn't hear it with you, what you're doing will not make sense. And that moment you're asking, God, what will people say? Or you're asking, this thing I'm doing, what will people say? These are instances where you'll be asking this question, what will people say? And sometimes you are about to do it, you're asking these questions, and then you ask one, they tell you things like 2 good heads are better than 1, and you want to ask this person, what do you think about this? And then everybody's saying the same thing, but they did not plan it together. This one's saying, don't do this. This one's saying, don't do this. I know it's saying, don't. But only one person is saying, do it, and which is the voice of God that you feel is convincing you to do it. And every other person is saying, don't do it. At this moment, you are uncertain. You're like, if I do this, that is only me saying I should do. What will people say if it goes otherwise? And then let's say you started and it's not making sense 3 years into it, 5 years. But what will people say about the investment I've made? All these things get you paranoid. You start doubting what you heard. You start doubting the inner conviction you got. You start doubting what God handed to you. All those things affect you. And if you're not careful, you would abort the process. You will abort the breakthrough that is coming your way because of what will people say. And some of the times, which is the bigger aspect of this, is fear of failure. Okay, because you're not really sure where this is going to. What if it doesn't work out? Because there's no always a guarantee that every business you venture in will work out. So what if it doesn't work out? Your loved ones will be like, I told you before. Did I not say it to you? Did I not tell you that? And then you're like, they will say this, so they will mock me. They will tell me, Shebi, I told you you're not intelligent. They will not tell you that you're not smart. They will not tell you you're not wise enough. They will not tell you that this is and all this stuff. You all those things are things that you start looking at. What is this person saying? And you're trying to validate all these opinions of you, and sometimes something inside of you saying something else. because every other person you trust, every other person around you are saying certain other things. You start thinking, what will people say? And because of fear of uncertainty, of failure, low self-esteem in various ways, and then you're not even sure about who you are again. And all these things fuel you up. You find yourself living a life that is not you, that is not unique to your identity, that is not unique to where you're going to, that you know inside is not true to yourself. Now you've known this, you'd ask yourself, okay, how do I stop this self-sabotage? You know, all the while you've listened to other people's opinions of you, other people's words and all that, did it make you feel better? Did it actually change the situation? And I'm sure it didn't stop them from saying that, because they said that you believed it, you repeated it, and you validated their opinion, and you said, yeah, because I do it and they say it and I do it, then that's who I am. But really, I want you to stop seeing yourself from the perception of other people and start looking through God's eyes. Who does God say you are? God says that you are beautiful, you are wonderfully made, you are born of Him, therefore you've overcome the world, you are more than conqueror, you can do all things through Him that strengthens you. God's word also says that you are created in God's image and likeness. Have you seen God before? Have you seen what God looks like? God looks like you. God is tall, God is short, God is beautiful, God is fair, God is dark, God is caramel skin, God is long haired, God is short haired, God is... All those unique things about you are expressions of who God is, expressions of God's likeness, expressions of God's image. And so when you say things like you're not beautiful, you're ugly, it's like you telling God that He's ugly, that He doesn't have a beautiful form, because you look like Him. And so when you start seeing yourself, it's a privilege for God to create you like He is. And validating yourself from a fellow human being who's going through some toxic from life struggles and frustrations, and that shows you that human being is going through certain things, that he's not really a perfect person. Why would you hang on that statement and not hang on who your creator says you are? And so I want you to start living your life looking through God's eyes. Go for those dreams, pursue it. Don't have to wonder whether people don't support you, whether loved ones are not there for you. It would have been better or lovelier if they are there for you, but that's first the situation. God says you can do all things through me that strengthens you. So not through naysayers, not through what they said or not through what they will say, but through Him who strengthens. He said, works into my hands, acknowledge me in your ways, and I'll make straight your path. And so when you do that, God is obligated to put His signature on everything you are doing, because as He is, so you are. A consciousness should rule your mind. As God is, so I am. So when you look at what they say, you are ugly. Is God ugly? Nope. When you look at what they say, you are clueless. Is God clueless? Nope. When you can say you are weak, you can't do anything. Is God incompetent? Nope. As He is, so you are. Live in that reality of who you are in Christ Jesus. Let it empower you. Believe it, feel it, because it's a promise for you. It is meant for you. So don't settle for less when God created you for something better than that. Don't settle for less. You were made for more, by more, to be more. So look at all the things they said you couldn't do, you couldn't become. You can do all this. The Christ will strengthen you. And so I want you to share this video to your friends and loved ones. Encourage them to stop sabotaging themselves based on other people's opinions of them and using it to validate their existence, to validate whether they can make it in life, validate their purpose, their calling. Sometimes dwelling on that, you'll be depressed and sorrowful and feel like there is nothing you should be doing in this world, and feel like, you know what, it's better I even leave. Those are strategies of the devil to make you feel like you are the less privileged person on earth. But that is not who you are. And so have this royalty consciousness. I'm a queen, I'm a king, I'm royalty, I am born of God, I'm a child of the king. And a child of the king does not settle for less. A child of the king is not small in thinking. So why settle for less when you can be more? When you were made for more? Yes, in thinking. Please share this video, like it. See you in the next video. In the description, you would see a link to my Telegram channel. Kindly click and join the Telegram channel, because there you get access to lots of resources from me to you, including monthly live webinar sessions with me. Thank you, and do have a lovely day.